It is my absolute privilege today to chat with Nathaniel Chirui, who I have known for almost 12 years.
Yes.
Nathaniel's been seen within Mr. Elephant. He's one of the personas of Mr. Elephant. He's also seen behind the camera. Nat's a student at USIU studying finance, bizarrely. Nat, as I was preparing for a conversation today, my mind went back probably 8 to 9 years ago where I interviewed you a couple of times in very different contexts.
Yes.
Tell us about those interviews. What's your memory of those interviews?
You are my headmaster.
That's right. That's
at
what I was.
Chirui. Yes. The first conversation we had outside the staff room, I think it was a break time or a lunch time, where you just pulled me to the side when I was in year 12. And told me that I was going to be house captain. Yeah, and you said that you saw leadership potential in me. Then there was the prefect interview, which I don't remember much of. I just know that I became a prefect. And yeah, the third one was, I would say, more of like an interrogation.
That's not entirely wrong.
Yeah, which led to my suspension this is after I became a prefect in my final year.
Yeah. And do you want to tell us a little bit about what went wrong? You talked about the disciplinary interrogation.
Yes, it was drug use. Yeah, actually it was for a while actually during high school. I used to just partake in weed and cigarettes while I was in school. Yeah.
I know after Chirui you went on to Wheaton College in the US, which is a very traditional, conservative Christian college.
Yeah.
How do you find the time there?
Wheaton is a predominantly white suburb in Chicago, which is extremely segregated. So in terms of like the society, it was very interesting and very tough for me. Yeah, going into that space as an international kid from a private school in Kenya and then going to meet all of these assumptions that people had with me and weirdly not being able to like connect with the white people or connect with the African Americans because our experiences were just not the same.
Yeah.
But yeah, and the school itself didn't have that many international students. So in terms of like finding other people who thought like me, it was quite hard initially. And yeah, in terms of, I don't know, it was yeah, at that time also I had gone into uni. I was doing therapy while I was still in high school and we stopped because of exams. And when I went to uni, I didn't start up again. I just like went to uni and continued with my life because I thought like I'd figured it out or something like that. But yeah, because of being far from home, far from people who understood me, and going through the stuff that I hadn't dealt with in high school as well, when winter hit, things just got crazy for me mentally. My first year I managed to handle it a little bit, but I was literally slowly spiraling out of control. And some stuff was also happening in my family, which was now lighting that fire that was spiraling. And in my second year, things really did get out of hand for me mentally. And yeah, after suffering a long bout of depression, I attempted suicide. And then, yeah, I got hospitalized in the States for a while. Went through that American system of mental health and then came back home.
I know one of your passions is for the church to be a place which is safe and authentic and accepting.
Yeah.
Why is that so important to you?
I think it's a need that many people have. I would say from what I've seen, there's a lot lacking in terms of people finding a space where they feel like they're welcomed and accepted for who they are. A place where they also don't have to pretend, because we're all just playing the best version of ourselves everywhere we're going. And if you're doing that on Sunday as well, or you're doing that around a community that is supposed to be your church, it's just, there's no place for you to have a break. There's no place for you to actually just come through and be yourself.
Yeah.
and get to interact with other people who are being themselves as well. Yeah, it's just that feeling of safety allows people to be vulnerable, which could then lead to actual change that happens. Because if you know the struggles that I'm going through,
Yeah.
and I'm actually honest with you about the struggles that I'm going through, you can actually speak into that.
Yeah.
And I would be more willing to listen. But I'm not going to tell you if I don't feel like I know you. And if I've played myself up to you, I'm never going to like, if I tell you I'll break this mirage of a person that it is that I've created for you. So, yeah, I believe people should feel safe in church, because that's when you can actually get better. And it just leads to a better interaction with other humans. When people are vulnerable with each other, you get deeper connections, and I feel like the church should be the place where that is happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When we were chatting earlier on, you were saying you just found at times church exhausting. Because of the pretending.
Because of the pretending, yeah.
Just tell us more about that.
Okay, so I've grown up around the church. Like, granddad was a pastor, my mom is a pastor as well. Yeah, my dad's been an elder as well. Went to a Christian boarding school, went to a Christian university, and I don't know, I feel like a politician's kid in some way or form, because you're a public figure and you're a private person, and you have to be, all things to all people, what other people want to see. So I very quickly learned how to act around church folk, and it's actually very easy to act around church folk who are acting as well, because they'll tell you the keys, they'll tell you what you're supposed to do, basically. They'll clap for you when you answer the right things, and then they'll scorn you if you do the wrong things. So I learned very quickly what Bible verses to drop in certain places.
You know the script.
Yeah, I know the script. I know the script because I've seen it. And you see it happening, and you pick it up, and you know how to implement it, like we were taught in school. So I was different people.
Yeah. So what do you think it looks like for the church to be that honest, safe, accepting place? What does that look like practically?
Practically, I think it just starts with us guys taking the risk of being vulnerable with each other first.
Yeah.
I think if we figure it out within ourselves, people will see it. In terms of, there is, I don't know, also I guess, patience with people. Because it's hard to, I guess, walk into a social gathering and immediately remove the veil that you have, That's asking too much of people. It's a very interesting thing, because it's like you can point out the problem, but coming up with the solutions is kind of hard. But, I would just say having patience with people. Because this world tells us to pretend, and it's really hard to turn that switch off.
Nat, it has been an absolute joy chatting to you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks so much for being so open about your story.
Yeah.
And
Thank you
looking forward for more.
Yeah.
See what God does.
Yeah.